The moment the next move disappears, sometimes you open something you used to know how to do. A project, a blank page, a message you need to send. Maybe you could still see the first few steps in your head. Then it's time to begin, and the path disappears. Not because you forgot everything. You can still recognize the version of you who used to move through this kind of moment. You just cannot seem to reach that version of yourself when it matters. For a long time, I treated that feeling as proof that I had lost something. Now I think it can be a problem of access. Maybe life has not erased the character you have been building. Maybe it changed the conditions under which you can use parts of that character. This is not an explanation for every difficult season. Some things need support, boundaries, time, or help that a personal model cannot provide. But when the question is, what is wrong with me? It may still be useful to ask something smaller. What is making this part of me harder to reach right now? The character did not begin today. My own path has looked uneven from the outside. I left a steady job to try working for myself. I drove Uber. I made gaming videos, learned editing, studied audio engineering, and spent years in Pro Tools sessions. Later, AI filmmaking became interestingly partly because some of those older skills had a new use. None of that was one clean career ladder. Some attempts did not become the thing. Some directions probably looked like I was changing my mind again. And sometimes changing direction is a way of avoiding the part where something gets difficult. But an attempt can still leave you with something. It could change what you bring to the next problem, a technical skill, a better eye, a clearer standard, or proof that you can learn an unfamiliar tool when you need to. The branches do not always connect near the bottom of the tree. Sometimes they look unrelated for years. Then a new problem arrives, and the strange combination of things you collected starts to matter. That is why I like the idea of a character sheet. Not because life is a game, because it reminds me that I'm carrying what previous attempts taught me into the next situation. Ability is not the same as availability. Imagine you have to speak in front of a room. You know your subject, you prepared, you have had clear conversations about the exact thing before. Then the room gets quiet. You notice everyone looking at you. The first sentence comes out wrong, and suddenly the words that were available yesterday feel much farther away. Your memory gets crowded. You start watching yourself while you are trying to speak. That does not mean you do not have the knowledge or the ability. The availability changed. Pressure and long disuse can change it. So can exhaustion, fear of being judged, or an environment that keeps pulling your attention somewhere else. Those conditions are not a diagnosis. They are just places worth looking. A useful model should not tell you that every problem is private optimization. It should help you notice what kind of problem you are actually in. Sometimes the next move is smaller practice. Sometimes it is a boundary, support, or time away from the thing that is draining you. And sometimes it is simply admitting that this moment is harder than you expected. A character sheet needs more than skills. A normal character sheet tells you what a person can do. Real life needs a little more than that. What have you learned? Under what conditions can you use it? What makes a difficult ability more reachable again? And what restores enough capacity after a hard stretch to make a choice? Go back to the person standing in front of the room. They may not need a new identity. They may need a smaller version of the same skill check. A rehearsal with one person, notes that reduce the memory load, more time, a conversation with someone who can help, another attempt at scale where they can learn from it. Those things will not work the same for everyone. The point is not to find one perfect ritual. It is to have more than one route back to action. Checkpoint, not reset. But there is a harder question here. How do you tell the difference between a pause that gives you more room to act and a pause that quietly makes the next action harder? I think people misunderstand recovery because it can look like lost momentum. You take a slower week, you reduce inputs, you stop trying to solve every open problem at the same time, It can feel like you are falling behind, but rest is not a character reset, it is a checkpoint. It does not erase what you learned. It may restore enough capacity to access it again. That does not mean every comfortable thing is recovery, so the question is not only did that feel good, it is closer to this. After this, is the next honest action more reachable, less reachable, or unchanged? Sometimes the answer will be unclear. That is still information. The next skill check. The person in that room is still taking the skill check, even if pressure makes part of it harder to reach. They may stumble, they may forget something, they may leave wishing they had handled it differently, but the attempt can still show them what the moment required. Maybe the next version needs more rehearsal. Maybe the stakes need to come down. Maybe they need support before another attempt. A bad roll is feedback. It is not a verdict. That does not guarantee the next attempt goes well. It gives the person a more honest place to build from than shame. Access, not return. Maybe finding yourself is not going back to one old version of you. Maybe it is learning how the character you have been building actually works. So when you open that project, sit to write, or stand in front of a room, the difficulty may still be there, but you do not have to take it as proof that you disappeared. You can make the next attempt small enough to learn from, not because you have everything figured out, because you have a better question than, where did I go? And sometimes that is enough to see the next move again.